Welcome to Math Plus, where math makes sense. In this video, it's called Your Turn. You will get to practice how to multiply and divide decimals by the power of 10. You may have been directed here from a previous video. It's called Decimals and the Power of 10. We do have a copy of that video. The link is above. Go ahead and click that link. You can watch it and then come back and practice. I'm not teaching it in this video. We're practicing it. On each page, you will do the equation, you'll solve the problem, and then come back and I will show you how to solve it. In that previous video, we showed you how to use a place value chart. It's really important for you to understand your whole numbers and their place value, as well as understanding the fractions or the decimals. Here we show you that 0.1 equals the same as 1/10, and we call it a tenth. So on your place value chart, this number in this box is a tenth. It's a fraction, 1/10 of a number. All right, so if you need to use this when you're multiplying and dividing your fractions, she showed you how to do that in the previous video. Write this down, make yourself a chart, and then you can use it as you solve the problems. You can also just move the decimals to the left or to the right as is instructed in the previous video. I have 7 different equations. You are welcome to do all of them. I recommend that you get a notebook and solve them in your notebook. Take notes, see what you're doing wrong, and fix it as you go along. This is our first one. Solve it, turn off your video, solve it, and then come back. First, I'm going to read the number. It is 567 and 1300ths divided by 100. I want you to be in the habit of looking at your operations symbol. A lot of kids will get confused or get their answer wrong because they're in a rush. You're always in a rush because you want to be done. Take your time and do it right the first time, and that gives you more time in the end. When we divide something, think to yourself, I don't want you to sit here and go, oh, I'm going to memorize, so I go to the left or to the right. You could do that, but what if you forget? You know division means something is smaller, right? Think of your brother or sister or mom's, and you have a chocolate cupcake and your mom says, that's the last cupcake. Share it with your brother. You have to divide it and you get a smaller amount. And that's what I want you to think about when you divide or when you multiply. Understand what that symbol means. So now look at this whole number, 567. If I want to make that number smaller, I'm going to move that decimal to the left. So now I'm dividing by 100. So because there's 2 zeros, I move 2 places to the left. 1, 2. My new number, 5 and 600 or 6,713 10,000s. Typically, you won't deal with decimals that big, but I just want you to see moving that decimal over to the left makes that 567 a lot smaller. How do I write 100 as the power of 10? Because I talked about powers of 10. They work the same as tens and hundreds and thousands. They all work together. When I have 100, I see that there's 2 zeros there. So it's the same as saying 10 to the second power. What does that mean very quickly? That means there's a number 2, and that means I write that whole number, whether it's a 10, a 5, a 6, a 7, it doesn't matter. I write that number 2 times because it says 2, and I multiply it by itself 2 times, okay? 100 or 10 times 10 does equal 100. Rewrite that equation. 567 1300ths divided by, I can write it this way as well, 10 to the second power. Gets me the same answer, means the same thing. All right, let's go to the next one. You solve it and then come back. Make sure you turn that video off. 31 and 5/10 times 10. I'm multiplying. That whole number is going to get bigger, and I can see that if I move the decimal to the right, it will get bigger. I'm only going to move it to the right by 1 place because it's being multiplied by 10. There's only 1 zero. That answer would be 315. You can leave the decimal at the end if you want, but you don't have to because there are no partial numbers. There's no fractions. It's a whole number. You do not have to put the decimal, but it's not wrong. How do I write 10 as a power of 10? You told me count those zeros. Well, there's only 1. Do I write a 1 up there? You can. 10 to the first power does mean 10. You can also ask yourself, if it's 10 to the first power, I look at the power I write that whole number one time and it's just there, okay? So it basically stays the same, okay? But I just want you to see that there's only one number, nothing else, it stays 10. Rewrite the equation, 31, well, it would stay the same, 31.5 times 10. You can write it to the first or just leave it alone. All right, next one. 5 and 64 hundredths divided by 10. Turn off your video, solve the problem, and come back. We are dividing. That means my number is getting smaller. That means I go to the left. I have 1 0, and I just move it to the left one place, and it becomes 564. We have a 10 again. We just leave it alone, just like the last problem. You can write 10 to the first if you want to. If that helps remind you, that is fine. Rewrite the equation using the power of 10, and it would stay the same. You should have written down the exact same equation. You can put the 1 up there if you want to. You don't have to. Our next number, 76 and 153 thousandths times a thousandths. Turn off your video, solve it, come back. That sure was a big number, wasn't it? All right, you're going to multiply. I hope you're underlining that. And if you're a person that forgets, you even use colored pencils. It's so much fun. You can circle whenever you have worksheets and things like that and use colored pencils and circle that operation to help you remember, I am multiplying. And when I multiply, the number gets bigger. And I see that I have to go to the right to make this number bigger, my decimal. And I am going to move it 3 times because the number is 1,000. 1, 2, 3. 3 zeros, move 3 times to the right, and I have a whole number. Again, you do not need to put a decimal after it. I would recommend not doing that because that shows me you understand it's a whole number. Don't need the decimal anymore, unless you're talking about money, right? How do I write 1,000 as a power of 10? Well, I see 3 zeros. That would be the same as 10 times 10 times 10. 10 to the third power. Rewrite the equation using the power of 10. You would have 76, 100, and 153. That's, I meant to write, that's a decimal, sorry, decimal, times 10 to the third. There you go. 47 and 87 hundredths divided by 1,000. I hope you remember to turn that off. If not, turn it off now, but I'm back. All right, what do we do first? This is getting to be easy, isn't it? The more you do it. We're just keeping it simple today. We're dividing. My number's going to get smaller. And if I just look at that decimal, I know I got to move it to the left, and that makes it smaller. But I'm going to move it 3 places. 1, 2, I got a problem. There's not anything there. That's where we get to put in a 0 for a placeholder and then move it to the third place. So our new number becomes 4,787 hundred thousandths. Again, that's a big mouthful of words to say for such a small number, right? The smaller the number, the more words we have to say. That doesn't even make sense, does it? How do I write 1,000 as the power of 10? You just did it on the last problem. 10 to the third power. And now we're going to write our problem out again. 47 and 87 hundredths times 10 to the third. I bet you're feeling pretty smart writing powers of 10, huh? All right, we only have 2 left. Turn off your video, work this one out, and come right back. I think you'll like this one. It's an easy one. So we have 3 2/10 times 100. I know that I'm multiplying, so my number will get bigger, and I'm just going to take that decimal place and move it 2 places. 1, let's do that up here so I can see better, okay? And I'm going to change the color of my pen. I'm going to use red. So I got to move it 2 places. 1, I don't have any more numbers, so I'm going to put 1 there, and then 2. See how I add the zeros as I go because it can get confusing. So my answer is 320. How do I write 100 as the power of 10? It's 10 to the second power. Now remember, we're doing powers. I'm just giving you a little tip in case this is all new to you. You can have 4 to the power to the second power. We're calling this 10 to the second power, okay? That means that whole number gets written out 2 times and it multiplies by itself. And if it's all new to you, that's okay. Just know that there's more to that. Rewrite the equation. 3.2, 3 2/10 times 10 to the second power. And that equals 320. All right, one more, your last one. And then you've completed them all. And stick around because I have some more practice. If you're still struggling, I'll show you where to go to get some more practice, okay? Turn off your video, try one more and see how you do. Last one. 7 8/10 divided by 1,000. Let's change the color of our pencil because it's fun. All right, so we're dividing, and that means the number gets smaller. And I can look at that decimal. If I move it to the left, it's going to get smaller. So let's go. 1, 2. Put it in. And 3. So we have to add 2 zeros to be able to move that. So it's decimal point, 0, 0. So it's 78. That would be hundreds, thousands, 10,000s. Oh, I was wrong. I was wrong. I'm going to leave that on the video because sometimes adults make mistakes too. That's your tenths, your hundreds, your thousands, and your 10,000. So it's 78 10,000ths. That's a mouthful. All right, how do I write that number as the power of 10? 3 zeros, so it would be 10 to the third power. And how do I rewrite my equation using that power of 10? 7 8/10 divided by 10 to the third power. There you go. You did a great job. Some of you got it and you're like, I've got this, I'm fine. And some of you are still like, oh, I'm more confused. I have 2 links down in the description, okay? They both link you to another site. I have nothing to do with it. I'm not making any money or anything from it, but they have tons of worksheets and a lot of free ones. So you're going to go to K5 Learning, and I brought you right to their page. So the link should bring you there where you can practice multiplying and dividing. I have 2 separate links, but I encourage you to go in there, practice. That's how you get better. Maybe stop today if this was a little bit tiresome. Come back tomorrow and do some more practice. Thank you for coming.